Good morning, Kiddo Kids, and welcome to your Monday, May 24th, and today is National Scavenger Hunt Day. You might be saying there, Mr. King, what is a scavenger hunt? I don't really know. I feel like we all really do, though. We've all played this before, where we actually kind of make ourselves some sort of little hints instead of treasure map in a way, and we try to find some sort of prize or treasure, just the end of a path. We basically get to pretend to be little pirates ourselves and find that buried treasure. And that goes right along with basically who invented scavenger hunts to a degree, which is pirates. You guessed it. They actually did it for a very good reason, though. What they would do is they would bury their treasure after stealing money and whatever else they were grabbing, and they would bury it. And that way, if they got caught in the future as they tried to steal more, they could actually have a bargaining chip to say, "Yar, I can tell you where the treasure is if you let me go." And so they had notorious little things like ways to find it, keys, riddles, and even those old school treasure maps that we all pretend were like really common. But there was a really good reason to do that. But instead of the practical reasons of trying to make sure you didn't land yourself in prison for the rest of your life, people do it nowadays just for fun. Geocaching is a really big and popular way to do scavenger hunts, combining hiking and exploring at the same time. Basically, all it is that people go and list coordinates, GPS coordinates, and they basically try to give you hints as to where to find cool little prizes, and they hide them in some pretty intricate ways. So you just got to get out there, basically check out some geocaching websites, and you can find these neat little boxes. Sometimes they're just Tupperware containers. Sometimes they're a lot more complicated. Sometimes they've got prizes, and sometimes they're hidden in really cool locations, or something as simple as just a jar left in some brush. But still, a really fun activity. I've done it myself, and I think it's a blast. Another great one is actually called an escape room. Now, this is a scavenger hunt in one individual room, where you're moving around the room trying to find hints as to how to get out of the room. You win by escaping the room, hence escape room. So that's a really fun one, too. But let me tell you one last story that is probably the most interesting one, which is there was a real-life treasure scavenger hunt. Let me tell you about this guy first. This guy's name is Forrest Burke Fenn. Excuse me. He is actually a Vietnam veteran who struck it rich becoming an art dealer and actually decided to do something with that money after he passed away. He got a diagnosis of cancer that was supposed to be terminal in 1988. And back in 2010, he decided to take his money, invest it in gold doubloons, jewelry, and all kinds of fun stuff like that, and actually make a real-life treasure box. So he put together this treasure box full of millions of dollars of gold and jewelry and really kind of crazy things like that. And he actually made his own treasure map and riddle. So there's this really awesome poem you can see there in the lower left. And this treasure hunt took people across at least 4 different states. It was a pretty wild treasure hunt. He released it to the world. Many, many people tried it. Even came to the point where he had people stalking him, trying to get hints and information out of him, which he never gave away. And finally, a decade later, so he did this in 2010, in 2020, someone actually found the treasure that he buried. The guy that found it actually met Mr. Fenn and actually was a medical student. So who better to find it than somebody who really needed to pay back those student loan bills? But anyways, Mr. Fenn actually survived all the way until last year when the treasure was found. So he met the person that found his treasure and still within his lifetime, and lived all the way from his diagnosis in 1988 to 2020. So definitely a really courageous cancer survivor. But anyways, I think that's a really awesome story about a real life treasure that somebody put out there just to kind of make people's lives a little bit more rich. So anyways, knowing all that, let's put our hands over our heart, find the flag in the room, and please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Yar, you landlubbers. Let's talk a little bit about food. Today we have a ham sandwich along with chicken nuggets, soft pretzel, broccoli, mandarin oranges, and milk. Well, you might be wondering what's going on with that weather right now. And you know what? It's been beautiful. It's been really nice. We're looking at a absolutely gorgeous day, high 65, a little cooler than we've been dealing with so far. The heat comes right back tomorrow, screeching up towards 82 degrees. A slight chance of rain right there. Wednesday is the rainy, thundery day as the high pressure front meets the low pressure again. We go screeching back down to low temperatures on Thursday and Friday, and then we're going to come back up into the heat yet again. The reason for all this craziness of the temperatures is there is this thing going on right now. Here's the early morning temperatures. They're all going to be moving up higher right to us, and it's going to get hot through the later part of the day. And that's because we're in this thing called a heat dome down in the southeastern portion of the United States. And it will be sticking with us and fluctuating a lot over the next couple weeks. So expect that we are going to have a mix of both cool spring weather and some warm summer-like weather back and forth for the next few weeks probably. But for today, get out there and enjoy the sun. Have a good one, and let's finish out our announcements of the Kendall mission statement. The mission of the Kendall Central School District is to provide the knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes needed by students to live responsibly and compete successfully in today's and tomorrow's world. Well, I hope you guys have a marvelous Monday, and if I don't get a chance to see it, remember to stay colorful, Kendall.